Skate Story is a weird game. It smashes together religious imagery with brutalist architecture, playful philosophy, and shimmering surrealism. It imagines a digital underworld lit by 7 oppressive moons, and it puts you in the body of a nameless, mirrored skater, rocketing, crunching, and grinding your way through it all. It came out at a difficult time of year when everyone is trying to cram games like Absolum and Consume Me and Sectori for their Games of the Year lists, but it's a game that deserves to cut through the noise even at this busy time of the year. And in this video, I will tell you why it deserves to claim a place of its own on the video game pantheon of 2025. But just before we get to that review, let me tell you about Spilled. I absolutely love short indie games that I can finish in just a few hours, and I also love games that have a strong environmental message, so the wonderful Spilled was a big hit with me this year. It's a game about waterway cleanup in which you pilot a little boat around a series of isometric lakes and rivers, collecting oil and trash and then depositing it to power up your boat with better speed and a wider scooper, and to open up new areas with new cleanup challenges. The game was made by solo developer Lente, who actually lived on a boat during development, so it's got a really interesting, charming solo indie dev story, and it really is getting some appreciation out there this year, especially because it was nominated for the best self-published indie game at the Golden Joysticks. I played Spilled on Steam, but it's out now on iPhone and Android too, so you can pick it up and play it anywhere. There is a link in the description of this video to find out more, and I'd like to say an extra special thank you to Sound Games, the mobile publisher of Spilled, who sponsored this video. Spilled really is a delight. I made a whole video about it, link on the screen now if you'd like to check that out, and be sure to check this game out on mobile. That's Spilled. And with that said, let's get into our review, and hang around at the end if you'd like to learn about getting a free game code by joining this channel's Patreon. Skate Story is an unconventional skating game, and that's because the story part of its title plays an equal role in what this game is, as well as the crunchy, weighty, visceral skating, about which I'll have a lot more to say in this review. It's what we're skating through that makes the game so fascinating, so let's start with the story side of Skate Story. At the start of the game, a geometric, shimmering glass man is consigned to the bowels of hell. It's a grim place with a red sky and a stretch of vast spiked concrete, and nothing much to do, but the mirrored man, who is known simply as the Skater, refuses to take his punishment lying down, not least because of the permanent supermoon which beams brightly across the torrid hellscape, tormenting its denizens by stopping them from getting any sleep at all. Of course, there's only one solution to this problem, so our mirrored protagonist signs a deal with the devil. If he can skate through all 7 layers of hell and eat the high, terrible moon in each of them, then he'll win back his immortal soul. It's a fun setup delivered with a huge amount of style. There are cinematic cutscenes with a gnarly film grain texture, an arterial color palette, and everything from the fonts to the UI to the art style are absolutely on point here. It feels like an experimental film or a work of art. So the story sections in this game are something that I really look forward to, but with the setup complete, the skating can begin, and it feels amazing as soon as the wheels hit the asphalt. And there are a few reasons why the skating is quite so good in this game. I think the sound actually plays a big role. It's the sound of the wheels grinding over the ground. It's really evocative, and we get the scrape and the scream and the click of the board, and it really helps that the skating itself feels so weighty and visceral. I don't know quite how they pulled it off, but the physics feel great. When you gain speed by pushing yourself forward along the ground and you do a kickflip or a trick or a grind, you really feel like you're fighting gravity to get off the ground for a glorious moment before crashing back down to earth. And I think the animation is also a big factor. Our mirrored skater is a low poly geometric model, but the animation is perfect. He'll steady himself on the board, he'll extend his arms for tricks, and he'll convincingly fight for balance after a big jump or a long fall, and when he wipes out, the ragdoll and then smash is super painful. And the camera is graceful and low slung, and it really helps to capture that all-important sense of free-flowing motion that makes skating in video games so fun to do. And there are a few types of skating to do in this game. I really enjoyed the challenge sequences where you go fast towards a portal, you have to trick over whatever obstacles are in your way, and then you will warp into the next portal at high speed and be faced by a new set of challenges. These sequences are wonderful, with fantastic wavy music and a sense of propulsive forward motion, and each one will take you to a new open area where you get to explore a little bit. These mini areas were really fun to look around. You get to trick over mini challenges to collect souls, you get to talk to really interesting interacting NPCs and pick up quests. There is a shop where you can upgrade your board, and then you can carry out some kind of main mission to progress the story. So you get a little bit of freedom to roam around and test your tricks and learn how to build up combos and all of that kind of thing. And I think that these breather moments where you get to just express yourself are really important for the game. And when you've finished exploring the area and done all the little quests that are in your way, it's time to collect a moon. And each moon involves a skate-related boss fight of a sort. You might have to chase a moon down through a difficult piece of landscape, or pound your board onto a moon's aura until its energy is gone, or grab chains to try and pull it out of the sky. They're simple fights, but they feel climactic, they have great music, and they offer some really welcome gameplay variety, and really escalate in scale as you go further down into hell. This being a skate game, your moveset will grow as you progress. You start out with the humble ollie, that simple move that we've seen teenagers failing at hour upon hour out in the street, but you'll soon be kick flipping, power sliding, and nollying your way through hell. Each new trick is described in text as you learn it, which makes the game feel like a lovingly educated take on skating itself. And maybe that's why the skating shines quite so much in Skate Story. It feels like there's a real understanding here and a real love of skating in this game that feels really compelling and contagious. I think this love of skating is also found in the board customization with the wheels, trucks, stickers, and board designs. This is what you buy with the souls that you pick up along the way, and it offered suitable motivation for tricking and exploring out in the world. I ran with the Ghost board for the whole game, which was a really cool nod to the game's sludge life, which you should check out if you haven't. So all in all, I think the skating in this game is a pretty intoxicating package. My only real critique of it is that if you hit an edge without jumping, you will lose energy, which is fair enough, but when you're moving at speed, edges sometimes aren't very visually distinct, and I'd say about half of my wipeouts were because I just didn't notice a curb coming up. And I'm not saying that everything should be splashed in yellow paint, I don't know what the solution is, but in tune with the ingenuity of this game's overall design, I feel sure that a solution could have been found without interrupting the aesthetic. But that really is my only real qualm with the skating in this game. Other than that, it is nigh on perfect. As for the story, I really don't want to spoil it for you, but I will say that you'll tangle with musing philosophers who'll analyse your motivations for this adventure. You'll witness skeletal lost souls lamenting lost moments from their lives. You'll meet a cast of bizarre little weirdos, from a cheeky frog to your spirit rabbit friend who guides you through the game, to a bird with writer's block you have to talk into helping you out. There are jealous traffic cones that will send you on a rampage to kill other traffic cones that have irritated them. It's all pretty funny and irreverent, and it's made surreal by the architecture of hell too, with placards, plinths and signage, poetic and biblical verses etched into giant walls, rules, regulations and pronouncements on towering obelisks. This shimmering vision of hell in this game is a character in itself, and there's a sense of anti-establishment mischief in many of the beings that you meet along the way. And that seems to vibe with what little I know of graffiti and skate culture. There is an anti-establishment feeling running through the game that I really enjoyed. So for me, Skate Story is a very easy game to recommend. If you like fluid motion in games, then it really is a must. It has beautiful environments to skate through, and it just feels wonderful. You really do get a knack for the tricking, for the skating, for the turning and stopping, and it's addictive and fun. There are those dreamy tunnel sequences where you have to trick through strange environments and really put those tricks and combos to work. It's wonderful as a skating game, but it's also wonderful as a Lynchian mashup of religion, regret, rebellion, and street culture. There's really not much else like it in that sense. So Skate Story is a late game release that I hope works its way into people's Game of the Year considerations, because it certainly has worked its way into mine. That's Skate Story. And just before we wrap it up, I want to say thank you to everyone who has watched this channel this year. We hit 1 million lifetime plays for the channel and podcast this week. You all helped make that happen, and to say thank you, the next 50 people who join at any tier on the Gaming in the Wild Patreon will get a free game code for 1000 Times Resist, Citizen Sleeper, In Other Waters, or Ultros, 4 games that really helped this channel to become what it is today. Thanks to the game's developers for helping me with the codes, and to celebrate this landmark, link on the screen now if you'd like to join the Patreon. Special thanks to boss tier patrons Shy Guy, King Champ, Keris, Susanna Maria, Nate, and Sid B. And until the next one, take care of yourselves and each other, and bye-bye for now.